All right, so we took the door and we're standing it up. We poured the resin in the bottom. Don't know if you can see it in there or not, but that's actually resin. So what I'm doing is tipping it towards this way to get it in this corner. Then I'll tip it towards this way to get it in that corner. And then I'll do the bottom. And it's just gonna be like a 1/4 inch layer of resin in the bottom. And what I'm doing is doing this, it's called Total Boat tabletop epoxy, and it's an epoxy based, waterproof, and it just locks everything together on the bottom of the door, seals everything. So I've used it in the past. I've seen a couple other people online use it, and it seems to work pretty good. It just kind of locks everything together. So getting that done. It's slow because got to do one side, let that harden overnight, do the other side, let that harden overnight, and then do the bottom, pour the bottom. So did the same thing in the trunk lid in this area. So on the inside, that's all locked together with epoxy also. But just thought I'd show you. And we still have to tackle getting that window out. Okay, so we're waiting for some primer to come for that door. So I figured we strip this hood down today. Try to get all the hardware off it, all the trim pieces, so we can start sanding on this. So we got to take this trim off first. I'm going to do it so you can see. It's just, doesn't take much. Comes off pretty easily. So that's the stainless piece that runs along top. It's just crimped on there basically. We just put this to the side for now like everything else. And then we got to take these off. So what we will do, I believe that's 3/8 if I remember right. We'll take our 3/8 socket, and it is tight in here, but we'll get it. And what we'll do is we just keep all the hardware. Okay, there we go. And there is a spacer in here that holds the hood flat, so that goes on the inside, towards the inside of the hood. The middle of the hood, I guess it's called. And I usually just put the screws back, or not screws, the nuts back with it, so I know where they are. And most of the time, these little tabs break off. Surprisingly, this one has all the tabs. The grill itself isn't in the greatest shape. And it's supposed to be chrome. That's not so good. But we'll just tighten them back on a little bit so we don't lose them. And also, I do have a little Tupperware thing here full of all my small parts, like the window clips and just various things. That's all my small parts. And what we do is we just put this over in another part of the shop somewhere to get it out of the way for now. But all right, so what we got? We're gonna do is stand this up on edge now, and we can get this other grill out. See how the other grills? That tells me the tab's broken off. That's just what happens to them. I only had 4 nuts holding it. And then, like I said, there's your metal piece that goes on the inside, towards the inside. So this one is missing one tab, which is very common. You can basically glue another one in there. I've done that in the past on other cars. And of course, we're missing a couple nuts, which is also common. Especially, these cars are 53 years old, so we'll just snug these back up so we don't lose them. And put it up here. We'll bring it to the other part of the shop later on. So they're all open now. Got that done. We need to turn this hood around if we can. Do we have enough room? And we don't. We're that close in here. So this is about 5.5 foot here, 5 foot. what I gotta do. That's all right. Actually, I don't really have to turn it all the way around to get this last part off. I only got 4 screws to do, which aren't the right screws. Somebody put different screws in there. So we'll change this bit out. And then we'll take these. These are like number 10 screws, which are way too big for this molding. I don't know who put them in there, but. And then we take that molding piece off. It's called eyebrow molding. Same thing on this side. They use the wrong screws, but it's what happens over the years. People strip stuff out and they put the wrong stuff in. It's common. I mean, I've had to do it also in certain situations, so it's just part of it when stuff is old. So if you can notice, we have a little dent here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. I'm gonna try. Probably not gonna be able to get in there and get that out. So the other option is to drill a hole and use the dent puller, but we'll probably just try to pry some of it up from the inside and go from there. But all in all, we're ready to sand this hood. We'll hit it with probably 220, maybe 180. We'll hit it with and try to get this down, and then we'll put a primer, a high build primer on it, and then we can block it out and make sure it's straight. It appears to be pretty straight except for that dent, so we'll see what happens, but that's gonna be our project for today. We're gonna work on that a little bit while we wait for our epoxy primer. Well, we got sick of sanding. That gets old really fast. So we started messing with the windshield. I didn't even plan on it. I should have filmed it, but I didn't, sorry. We pulled the windshield out. Really, this whole side here, the urethane, like I cut the outer edge and it just literally was nothing holding it. Same with the other side. All along the top here, there was barely anything holding it. Over there, it was good. And over here, it was good. And what I did was I cut it and I just literally grabbed it and took it and slit it almost like a razor knife on the inside, but it was the urethane. So we got a little bit of rust, doesn't appear too bad. We'll have to clean it up, see what we got. But we got to respray this dash because that's the wrong color. I don't know why they sprayed it that color, but we're going to respray that. And what we'll do is when we pull this back window out, we'll be sure to film it. This is going to be a little more of a challenge because you can see the urethane is all in the cracks and it's all dried up. What I did also was I was trying to buff out some scratches. There is a windshield wiper mark on the windshield that I tried to buff out and it really isn't coming out. So I don't know if I'm going to use that windshield. I'm going to see the availability and how much a windshield is. But I hate to go through all this and then put a windshield in there that isn't perfect. So like I said, we'll let you know when we do the back one, and we'll try to remember to film that. Okie dokie. And there's the sanding. Yep, we're tired of it already. All right, so we're gonna try to get this back window out. We got to cut it along here and try to get something in around the edges. The urethane they use is kind of soft. You can see it just it's kind of crumbly. Windshield came out pretty easy, but that's probably why this won't come out pretty easy. But we'll see what happens. We'll get this all cut out and we'll show you that, and then try to get in there with a knife. Also, I just kind of interesting. This is the factory lead that they filled the quarter panel with, which is pretty neat. They used to do it with lead back in the day, and I don't know if you can tell the different colors, but this it's about 2.5 inches wide, and that's where they actually filled it with lead instead of using body filler. So just kind of neat. That's what, you know, it's an original quarter because it was lead filled. So, all right, we're gonna try to cut out some of this and we'll take you along and show you what we're doing. All right, so we got the edge cut. I have this carpet knife that actually works pretty good. Problem is we got to get inside now. I tried getting in the car and cutting up. This top part seems to be kind of hollow when you scrape on it, so I think that's loose, but I got to get at least 2/3 of the side cut in order to pry the window up. What I remember doing as a kid, I never did a back window like that, but I did a couple windshields, and we'd cut it, sit in the seat, put both feet on the window in the middle, and slowly push on it while somebody was still scoring it. And that actually worked very good, and you could actually pop the windshield out. But like I said, it's been many years. I'm not that agile anymore. So we need to get inside here and push from the inside somehow. They make a tool. It's like an L-shaped thing, and I have one. Of course, I can't find it. So it doesn't do me any good if I can't find it. So like I said, we'll keep going at it, and then we'll show you once we get it pried up and out, hopefully in one piece. Keep your fingers crossed. So we got on the inside, started prying and cutting with a wedge. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I was all contorted up in there. Can't get in those positions too good anymore. But as you can see, we got it that far out. So now we just keep pressure on it and just keep slicing away here. It should come out, hopefully, without breaking it. But we're making headway. I mean, really less than a half hour into this, so it's not so bad. Just trying to get it out without destroying it. Do have a couple scratches on this corner that I don't know. That piece of glass is hard to find. I think, and I don't know for sure, I think I have one, but I know I had one from back in the day, but I don't know if it's survived all the moves or not. I don't know. It'd be over in the motor room, if somewhere back in there with all the other stuff. So we'll see. We'll try to get out in one piece, get it cleaned up, see what it looks like. But either way, we're getting there. We'll show you when it's out. All right, windows out, made it in one piece. Got to keep these little spacer blocks because if we end up putting it back in ourselves, we'll need them. This side of the pinch weld appears to be okay. We got to get it cleaned up. But this side over here appears to have some rust, as you can see, which was suspect anyway, because this side of the trunk on the inside is rusted and this strip rail is rusted. It all, you know, when things start leaking, they just keep leaking. People don't realize it and they hold water. So that's why we're doing this, why we're taking it out, because it was suspect. So we'll get the pinch weld all cleaned up, try to save these clips if we can. I think we can get them, but we'll save what we can, and we'll go from there. But at least we got it out one piece. I'm gonna scrape this window off with a single edge razor blade. We'll clean it up and put it down by the Mustang so it stays for good keeping. But yeah, this was your thing. I didn't think it was they used to use like a roll of adhesive tape. It was like a, I forget what they called it, but a pinch weld, something, I forget what it was, but that's what I've used in the past. But we'll clean it up and put it away and hopefully save everything, and we will go from there. So that concludes our window taking out. Now the windows are out. These windows all come out very easy, so won't be any big deal. But we got it out one piece, important thing.